Hello all, this is Anupama Zavargi here and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 2 of our discussion on the book The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. In the first part of the video, we discussed about the differences between the deferred lifestyle and the new rich lifestyle. In this video, I'm going to share with you what Tim Ferriss suggests that we need to do to go from a deferred lifestyle to a new rich lifestyle. Okay, so he calls this process a lifestyle design process, and he's given an acronym for that, and it is DEAL, that is DEAL, where D stands for define, E is eliminate, A is automate, and L is liberate. So let's go through each one of these, what we need to do to become part of the new rich. The first one is define. So most of the time, we really actually don't define what we want from our lives. So that's why he says that we need to define both our dreams, our goals, and also our fears. Because fears are what keep us stuck in the place that we are in. Because sometimes we are not happy with our lives, we are not satisfied with our lives, but still that is familiar to us. So we are afraid of the uncertainty. If I take this step, what's going to happen in my life is what we are afraid of, and that keeps us stuck in one place. So that's why he says that we need to both define our fears also and define our dreams also. So for defining our fears, he says that we need to think of the worst case scenario. What is going to happen if you do something. And then the second step would be, how would you bounce back from that worst case scenario? So, once you do that process, you will actually realize that it's not so bad. We are more afraid of, actually starting and doing something. And once you actually go through those questions and, what is the worst case, you realize it's not going to turn out that bad. And you can actually recover from it. So, you are empowered to take that step. Okay, and the next one is after fears, it's dreams. I have never really actually defined what we want from our lives. So for this, he gives a nice process. The things is, he says, list 5 things you want to do, be, and have. Okay, so it's what you want to do, be, and have. And that too, he gives a timeline for that. It's like either 6 months or 12 months. You want these things, what you want to do in those either 6 months or a 12-month timeline. Plus, he also says, you need to put a money amount on those dreams. How much would you need to earn or how much would you need to spend to do all these things that you have listed here. Okay, so 5 of each here. Okay, 5, 5, 5. And then out of these, then you narrow it down to 4 things. Okay. So these are going to be your dreams that you're going to do in the next few months. And out of these 4, what you're going to do is actually list 3 steps that you're going to take and start with the first step immediately after you write your goals. Because what happens is, we write everything down, but we never start. So he says, as soon as you define what you want, you need to take some kind of a step to get going on, trying to work towards your goal. Because we all know, what happens with our New Year resolutions. We have all these big plans and they never materialize because we never take that first step of starting. So that's very important. As soon as you define your dreams, and that too for the near future, not like 5-10 years, like 6 months and 12 months, you actually need to, start with something, not just keep it on the paper. So start immediately. Okay, so that is the key thing here. So this is about define. That is the first step of going from deferrers to the new rich. The second step is eliminate. Okay, because we are all trying to be more productive. We need to be more productive if we want to live our lives more fully and not be just busy for the sake of being busy. So here again, the question comes is, are you being effective or are you just being efficient? Because effective is doing what is needed to be done. Okay, doing that well. And efficient is doing something well, but it may or may not be needed. So we need to shift from efficiency to effectiveness. Okay, and for this, he gives us some great laws. The first one is the Pareto Principle. You must have heard about it, 80-20 principle. It was very new when he mentioned it in his book in 2006. Now a lot of people use that. So the theory behind the Pareto principle is that, most of your 80% of your results are because of 20% of your effort. Okay, and this Pareto found this out. He was an Italian scientist. He found out that 80% of peas in his pea pods in his garden produce only for 20% of peas, and 20% of pea pods produce 80% of the peas. So he tried to use this theory in other areas like traffic and stuff like that. So, and I'm sure we all, if we really focus on it, we also know that most of the times, like 20% of our efforts gives 80% of results. So we need to focus on that core 20%. I think as students also, we've seen there are some core chapters, and I don't want you to be like just obsessed with the 80-20. Maybe 60-40, maybe 70-30, but you get the point, right? So less effort results in more output. So, and we have seen that, we wear most of 20% of the time, like what we wear is the same clothes. Like 80% of the time we wear 20% of our clothes, or even the food that we eat. Like, so it's this rule can be applied to a lot of different areas in life. So we need to focus on those 20%. If you have a business, then you realize that 20% of your customers give you 80% of your business. So if you focus on those 20%, you actually get more output. So that's the whole principle behind this 80% rule. So you need to focus on that 20%, okay, and be maximum productive that way. So you save a lot of time. So doing a lot of things and which don't really add that much value to the output. Okay, so this is the Pareto principle. The second is an interesting law that's known as the Parkinsons Law. It states that the complexity of a thing and the time needed to do that thing seem to increase depending on the number of time that we give to that activity. And we have seen this, right? As a student, if a project was due on Friday, what was the day that we got the maximum thing done? Thursday night, right? So, once we have a deadline, we seem to, focus more and have good result because of focusing more, and we can finish it faster. And if you have to go on a vacation, you know how much our work gets done on the day before you leave for a vacation, because you know you are not going to be there the next day. Or if we have guests at home, all women will know this, how much we get done during that day in terms of like cooking and cleaning if we are expecting some guests at home. So that's why, we need to keep shorter deadlines so that we are more focused and we get a lot more done. So that is the Parkinson principle. Another interesting thing he suggests to actually eliminate what we don't want to do is batching. Because, a lot of times when you're working, we have a lot of interruptions. We constantly check our emails or on social media. So he says if you batch similar kind of activities together, you save a lot of time. So one important thing that he says is, you don't check email all the time because it's very distracting. The link that you are on, if you're working on something deep, that gets broken if you constantly are, interrupted by mails and stuff like that. So he says, you can just batch it and check mails just 2 times a day. Just inform everybody that you're going to do that. So in case there's something urgent, they can call you. But otherwise that you're going to just do it 2 times a day. So that saves a lot of time, going back and forth between activities. So that is a batching. I think even in daily life, if you're going out to get groceries all the time, if you just fix 1 or 2 days during a week and make a list and just go one time and do it, and do this kind of batching also, it saves a lot of time in everyday life. So this is another thing, batching for a similar kind of activities makes us save a lot of time. The next is an interesting concept which I really like, that is go on a low information diet. We are just so much, we are bombarded with information right now, just like media, and most of the information is negative. So he suggests a few things, just go on a 7-day no media fast. Don't watch any news, don't read any newspapers. He says if it's something urgent or important, somebody is bound to come and tell you about it. So you don't need to spend so much time you finding that information yourself. Another concept is just-in-time information. We seem to collect so much information, which by the time we use it, we forget. So he says, just collect information about the thing that you have to do, what is really urgent or needs attention right now, instead of, just keep collecting information in the hope that it will come in handy someday. So that's another tip for a low information, having a low information diet. Another one that is interesting is don't finish the task. If it's like you're watching a movie and it's very boring, so you don't need to watch the whole thing. Or if midway through a book you realize that it's not, you don't like it, you don't have to read the whole book and waste more time. So, making these kind of decisions so that you save your important time, which can be used for something else. Okay, so elimination is very important to be effective. Elimination is one of the things that the new rich do, so that is what saves them time, makes them more time to think about other things. Okay, the third thing in the acronym D was automate. So here it's all about outsourcing. So he says, you need to outsource either to your computer or a virtual assistant what you don't want to do. But the thing is that first you need to eliminate before you automate, because there's no point in outsourcing something to someone else which can be eliminated in the first place. So always elimination comes first, then automate. Because some people think that it's easier, you can just give it out to somebody and let them do it. But if you can eliminate, why pay them, right? And another thought that most people have before they actually outsource or think of having a virtual assistant is that I'm doing it for free. Why should I pay somebody to do all these kind of jobs? The thing is, we never consider how much our hourly wage is. We think because we are doing it for free. But it does cost us in terms of money, when we could spend that hour doing something else that is actually more important to us. So always, we need to eliminate before outsourcing and have a virtual assistant. People think of it as a luxury, but it's an essential thing. Then he also talks about setting up a digital, internet kind of a business where you don't have to be there present all the time. You can just automate the processes, automate the FAQs, and so you don't need people to answer your customers' questions, that kind of stuff. So if somebody is really interested in setting up one, I would recommend reading the book and reading all the other people's testimonials who have done that. And setting up a digital muse, or like a passive income kind of having a passive income when you don't have to work there 24/7. You'll still get paid working on the side and doing something else. So that is what the automate part is. Once you have done, you have defined, you have eliminated, then you have automated, the last part remains is liberate. That is, you liberate yourself from either the 9-to-5 job that you've been currently doing, then you don't have to do that once your other internet business is set up, or you realize that you like doing something else and you started a new business, or you don't need to be in the office once you once you are so productive that the company, he says negotiate with the company so they'll allow you to stay at home and work from home and stuff like that. So he gives different ideas for that. But I think during the pandemic, the jobs that we thought, not possible to do them from home, everybody's working from home. So I'm not going to stress a lot on the liberate. People are experiencing that right now firsthand, that they can still work from home and do their job. So they might continue either in a hybrid model or, just totally work from home henceforth. So these are the 4 steps. So it's the book is not just about why you need to do that, but also about how you can do that. So there are lots of testimonials in there for people who are actually living this new rich lifestyle. So if you are interested, if you think these if these things have increased your curiosity towards how you can do it, and so you can start with this step-by-step process and see where it leads you to. So you can go from your 9-to-5 job to something where you are doing something that you're very passionate about and enjoying life to the fullest. So this is about the 4-hour work week. I think I should say that even though your work week may not be reduced to 4 hours, but you will definitely have a lot more time on your hand just by doing these things. So this is it for this week. See you next time. If you like the video, press the like button, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.